All right, so as we come up to our logbook computer, we should see in the middle of the screen a logbook, and you're going to double click on that, and it's going to open up your Excel document here on the computer. And you may have to push this password input button here in order for the dialog screen to come up. And it's going to ask you for your username and password. Now, you'll notice right up here in the blue is some information for you for inserting your password correctly. So I'm going to put my password or username in for this demonstration and my password as well. And it's going to tell me that I've been verified and that I'm ready to proceed. And I'm going to hit OK. Now the screen's going to look the same as it did before. But what you're going to notice is there's a tab down here on the bottom that has your name on it. Okay, so when you log in, you should only be seeing your tab that shows up. And once you're in, we can see the different areas for entering our material. So I see my name up here. I see that all sizes should be entered in inches and no symbols. So no feet or inch marks, and decimals work best when we enter stuff. So we look here, the first section is for sheet goods, which typically doesn't happen until after we start with our solid lumber. Our next section is the solid lumber. And then our third section is our other supplies. This is going to be pen parts, drawer hinges or drawer slides, door hinges, things like that, different types of hardware, finishes, things like that. And then down below is our payments. And you can see I've got some payments entered in here showing that maybe we made 3 different payments for the class. And you can see here I have a negative 100, which means that you have a credit of $100. So the negative number means you have a credit that I owe you money. And then when that becomes positive number, then you owe me or the school money. And so that's one way to think about it there. So let's look at entering a few different things. So the first thing you're going to start with on a project typically is the solid lumber. So let's start there. You would grab a board from the wood rack, and then you would come over to our logbook computer and you would fill in the information. So we're going to start with the date. And if you don't know the date, you can look at the clock on the computer and it should display the current date on there. So I'm going to put 11/9 and hit tab, and it's going to fill in the year for me. I don't need to put that in. The project, whatever you're going to call it, call the project the same thing over and over. So that way we can distinguish different projects from each other. So if you get done with this project and you have time to make something else, we can distinguish those two on this logbook. So for this example, I'm going to put end table for my project name. And my project part, now if you look at this cell has a drop down menu with this little gray box here on the side. So whenever that gray box appears, we need to use that gray box to pick from our different things. So typically you would start with your face frame first, and we're going to pick from a list of drop down materials. And I should actually be on the top half here. I'm looking at 15/16 oak. I'm going to click on that. My location found, just for housekeeping issues, I like to know where you found the wood. Was it in the wood rack? Was it from a friend? Was it in the trash or scrap bin? So if you'll mark down where you found that, most of the time it's going to be from the wood rack. And then we're going to put in your length. Now remember, you need to measure each board specifically as they're all going to be different. And they come in random lengths and widths. So we might have 8-foot lengths, but within that 8-foot length, some of them might be a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. So we want to be specific to the nearest 16th. So you're going to pull a tape on the length of your board. And let's say this one's 96 3/8. So we'll put that in. And then we're width, you're going to measure in 3 spots. So you're going to measure both ends and the middle. So if you measure on one end and it's 5 inches, and you measure on the middle and it's 5 1/4, and you measure on the other end and it's 5 1/2, then we're going to take that middle or average size and we'd put 5 1/4 in. And you can see that after you enter the length and width and the appropriate type of material, it's going to calculate your board feet. So this board is 3.51 board feet. And the cost for this board, it cost $8.43. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom and look at our value for the amount owed here, you can see your credit has dropped to $91.50 because it's a actual running total of how much credit you have for the class. Now, if you made a mistake on this and say, well, this was 96.5, I need to change this, you'll see that as soon as you try to start typing, it's not going to let you change it. It has locked in those sizes and the type of material you chose. So if you chose the wrong type of material, or you chose maybe the wrong length or width, you're going to have to talk to your instructor to get those cells unlocked so you can change that or put the correct size in. It's just a feature on here that keeps it from someone coming in and wiping out a whole logbook accidentally and deleting things that shouldn't be deleted. And that way, your instructor for deleting has to take care of that. And so that would be an example of a piece of solid lumber. And you can see on the drop down menu, there's quite a few different things that we have for the different solid lumbers that we'd have in here. Some of them, for example, this rough oak pallet, we have some pallet material or pallet planks that are in here that, you put them in, you log the material just for our record keeping, but they were donated. They don't cost us anything. That way we can just keep track of how much inventory is on hand as well. So things like that, even if you find it in the garbage or at scrap wood, anything that you take from the school that you did not bring in on your own should be in the logbook. Okay. If your friend has a piece of material and they cut a board in half and give you half and say, here, you can have this, I don't need it, we need to make sure that everything is accounted for inventory purposes. So just because your friend gave this to you doesn't mean that it was necessarily put in the logbook. So I don't really care where it's put in the logbook, whether your friend has the whole board in or whether you have half the board and they have half the board, as long as all of the material is accounted for the class. So that's one thing we need to make sure that it's in there and accounted for the different pieces. So after the face frame pieces were entered, maybe you have some more solid pieces in there. You got a really big face frame, cabinet making two type stuff, whatever it may be. Your solid lumber section's done. Maybe you're ready to put in some sheet goods. So let's take a look at what that might look like here. Same process, the date, again, down in the lower right-hand corner of the screen should be the date for you to put the correct date in. The project, remember, we're going to call this the same thing each time, and we're going to call this an end table. And the project part, again, we have a drop-down menu, so we're going to use that. We're choosing the box or case of the project. The material is going to be 3/4 oak plywood to start with, and the location found is going to be on the wood rack. Now my sheet width, these come a little oversized, so we're going to measure exactly how big they are. So 48.5, that's how wide it is. And the sheet length, somebody cut a board exactly in half, whatever it may be. Maybe you're going to cut yours size right to 48 inches and leave the next student with a little bit longer. Whatever it may be, you're trying to shoot for that 48-inch mark, or leave half of the material left for the next student if you're doing that. Now, maybe you're making a big project for cabinet making one. You've got a lot of shelves and things like that, tall sides. You might have to enter in a whole sheet of plywood if you've got a bigger project. So we don't enter this in until we actually take it. So you wouldn't have the same dates on your plywood and solid lumber like I have here. Just this is an example. I'm just showing you how to enter things. You wouldn't enter each line item until the day you take it or when you're planning on using it. You could maybe do it the day before. Maybe we're at the end of the class. You have a board all picked out. You're not ready to cut it up yet. You're going to set it aside with your name on it. At that point, you would enter it in the logbook. So we want to do that right away so we don't forget about it. Plus, once you start cutting things apart, then we no longer know how big it was because we've ran it through some machines. We've taken a saw to it, which the kerf takes out some material. So we always want to measure and put it in before we start cutting anything down. So let's enter a 1/4 inch sheet of plywood and show you what that might look like. Okay, this is going to be for the back of the project, so we can use this little menu here. Whoops, I picked the wrong one. Back, and I'm going to be using 1/4 inch oak, one-sided this time. The two-sided is more for our doors, our raised panel doors, or our flat panel doors, because it's good on both sides when you open it up. Wood rack was where this would be found. Again, length was 48 by 48, and it calculates that size for you or the amount for you. So that would be your sheet goods. Again, there's a wide variety of different materials in here. We've got our hickory in here, maybe melamine if you're building with that, some different plywoods, hickories, things like that, MDF. So anything that you would find in the shop should be able to be located here in the logbook for tracking. Now, if we come down here to our other supplies, let's take a look at this. So we'll put today's date in for our example. Our project is going to be an end table and the supplies or the type. So we're going to pick out of here today. Let's pick our hinges. And so of our hinges, there's different styles that we can pick depending on what we have. We're going to use the hidden hinges. That's the most common one that we pick is the hidden hinges. And you notice that it says a set of two. So for the most part, each door is going to use one set of hinges. Now, when we get into bigger projects in cabinet making 2, that might be 1.5. Maybe you're going to put 3 hinges on a big heavy door, one on each end and one in the middle for extra support. But for cabinet making 1, we're going to be doing smaller doors, so one set of hinges would be sufficient. And you can see that it automatically totals that and puts a cost in there. You'll see some stuff over here, some different counting stuff on the side might be visible on your screen. Don't worry about that. We're just worried about the stuff in the colored cells here for our entry of the project parts here. So let's take a look at something different here. Maybe you're ready to spray your clear coat. Of course, for your project, again, this is going to be at a different time. It's not going to all be on the same date. I want you to put the date that you took or use that. But this time we're scrolling down, we're finding finishes or supplies here, finish, and we're going to choose of the different kinds of finish that we have in the class. We're going to choose clear coat, and we're going to put our quantity of 1 for cabinet making 1. Now, you may have time at the end. Maybe you want to build some extra pens. Maybe you want to do extra turning projects, things like that. Maybe it's a solid piece of wood that you took for an extra project. Maybe it's actually a pen project that you're going to do. And we would actually want to be specific on this. Maybe it's a carbon fiber. If I could spell today. Carbon fiber bolt action pen. So you would come in here, you would then choose your pen parts. And generically, we have set up here is you're just going to choose the carbon fiber would be in the plastic category, plastic pen kit, and you're going to put quantity 1. Now, your instructor may actually enter this one in for you because the value of the different pens based on the mechanisms you use or the type of material you've taken are going to vary. So if you try to enter, change the price, your instructor is going to need to put in a password to change the price. So maybe this pen would actually be a $25 pen. And so your instructor would have to come in here, enter their password, and then that could be changed to the price or value of that pen and still give you a live running total here. So with these few things that we have entered in, we actually can see our running total here. We actually have gone now to owing the school $11 for the projects and stuff that we've taken. And so now you might see a few different things in the payment category. So if you're here in the class all year, cabinet making 1 and 2, then maybe you might see something in here that is a transfer or a carryover debt or credit from cabinet making 1 to cabinet making 2. So you might have some of those different categories of payment types in here. Or maybe we're at the end of the semester and this is it for you. You're not staying for cabinet making 2. We'll put a cabinet making 1 final in there. And maybe you paid, brought in a check for the exact amount, $11.52. Yeah, so that little amount is going to show up there. I actually entered it wrong, but just to show you that those are entered. Now the payments again cannot be entered by the student. A password has to be entered for the payment section to be entered into the logbook, just for the integrity of the logbook. That has to be done that way. So if there's any questions on how to enter something specifically, please talk to your instructor. They will help guide you in getting you in the logbook. Remember, your username and password are on that front login screen. So if you have any questions, double check there first. If you still can't get in, talk to your instructor. You know, that first time getting in, maybe your instructor entered your name wrong, put an extra vowel, or you know, put Anderson and put en instead of on, or whatever it may be. So just talk to your instructor. Maybe they made a mistake and they can get you into the logbook. Maybe they entered your password wrong and they just need to update that. So once you're all in and ready to go, now we're ready to exit the logbook. Okay, we've entered all the stuff we wanted for the day. Now we're ready to close out or log out. And so what we're going to do is just come up here to the X in the right-hand corner, the red X. Now we're going to hit the red X and it's going to prompt us. Do you want to save changes to the logbook? Yes, we want to save changes. And we've got to let this shut down on its own. If I try to reclose it again right now while it's thinking, it's going to crash the program and not save anything that just happened. So we want to make sure that we are giving the logbook time to shut down. Don't try to close it twice. Just hit the red X once. It's going to take a moment. It's a large file. And once it's closed, then you can walk away from the computer and go about cutting up your material. Again, if you have any questions, talk to your instructor. They'll get everything answered for you that you need to have answered to get you running properly and smoothly.